well, it's a pointless life if you're only thinking of now. Really, let's have some fun, think of now. But okay, the illusion of God, or the deluded concept of God, that of doesn't matter, because at the end of the day then you get your reward and all of this can be forgotten. It's very selfish, in fact, very selfish. That religion is very selfish. It's like, yeah, well, as long as I live well, it doesn't matter about afterwards, because I'm going to the afterlife. Not thinking about those that will come after in this life. Yeah, well, I had a hard time, so they can suffer as well. It's absurd. Yeah, why I'm not a Christian, I suppose. Why I'm not? Because, I mean, I have to say, I did study the Bible, and I had a good friend who, I don't talk too much because we always argue, basically. His mother was very religious in her views. She was adopted into the Jehovah's Witnesses, and she studied the Bible. He grew up studying the Bible, and because he was a single child, only child, and single mother, so he often spent time with his uncle. His uncle's family were Catholic, so he was getting bombarded by two forms of the Christian belief, and at times can be extreme if people go to the fundamentals of these arguments. Luckily the Catholic wasn't so fundamental, but certainly the mother, John, his name was John, his mother was, I'm sorry for washing this in public, but I'm not going to embarrass him, but he can just stay out of the way. I'm not going to give his username here. Should have called him something else. Anyway, his mother basically would talk about a lot of the Old Testament stuff and the end of the world and the beast. I remember when I was at sixth form, sitting there having conversations about the beast with the 7 horns and the 11 heads or 10 heads. The details really aren't that important so much. I saw the comparisons then of the United Nations with the flags and what he was making. It's what's happening now a lot on the internet with all of this symbolics and all of that lot. Coincidences and conspiracies. Coincidences, definitely. The conspiracies, humans conspire. I mean, so, and that's no coincidence. It's a fact. But going back to reading the Bible, and I was attracted to by that parts of the teachings of Jesus, the message, and the philosophy. But unfortunately, when you meet a lot of Christians, you see that philosophy is not being practiced. It's being preached, but not being practiced, and that's hypocrisy. Most Christians are hypocrites, and they will take offense to that. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at the world we live in, okay, and the connection to this structure of society, and the fact that the church is within that society and therefore not standing outside it and standing against it, they are supporting it. They do. Whether they have choice or not, I mean, what is choice? Are we all just blindly following because we're all totally afraid? Where is the courage? They're supporting a system which exploits from others. Okay, so they are not treating everyone as their brother and sister. They're treating some people as their slave. Not directly attached, okay, but it wasn't me, I just went and bought the product. Guilt goes down the line. Okay, guilt goes down the line. If I provide the shotgun to somebody who robs a bank, am I innocent? Okay, I could say, well, I didn't know, but ignorance is no excuse. Okay, I had the responsibility of considering what this guy would do with the shotgun. Okay, humanity is a series of errors, and is it right to say that they're all evil? They're just blindly following as much as the entire mass. If we're going to start pointing the fingers, we've got to start pointing the fingers at ourselves and those around us, not just at those ruling us, because I mean, we are responsible. So that's the hypocrisy from the Christians. So I'm really surprised that they're not the first ones giving a good example here. The second is that thing of going to heaven, as your end reward. The irony is, and they can read Mark, a lot of them throw their biblical texts, but they don't tend to concentrate on some of them. I mean, the stuff about the righteous man, the Pharisees. I mean, a Pharisee, someone who basically writes and sells scriptures, that sort of righteous man, the Pharisees and the righteous man. Anyone who is a believer and publicly states they're a believer and bullies other people into believing what they believe but doesn't practice what they believe, is a hypocrite. Therefore, the righteous man, in fact, is the hypocrite. Okay, simple as that. The righteous man is the hypocrite. Okay, unless he is practicing what he preaches. Therefore, I have studied the legal code and discovered that, in fact, if you think about it, the repentant sinner has more chance of getting into heaven in a rope, mooring rope, in fact. That's way to throw the needle. Putting a camel through a needle is a bit ridiculous. The repentant sinner has more chance of getting in. There are other phrases in there, but basically, at the end of the day, if you arrive there and you say, well, I wasn't convinced, I tried to understand life, I didn't get it right, but I tried, okay, you're going to be welcome. If you go, okay, according to the Bible this is, okay, the way I see it, I mean, I'm not religious, but the interpretation seems very, very clear in this. If you arrive there and say, well, I pray to you all the time, and I beat people around the head with my Bible, and I know I wasn't exactly following what I was, but I was a student, I learned the lessons, I just didn't do what I learned. It's going to say, like, sod off, you were cheating. Okay, bye.